YouTube, what it do? God dang! Yeah, they're cutting the grass, man. What the? My fault. My apologies if you can hear that, man. Right now, the internet is coming to its breaking point with hashtag We Want Cross. But before I want to get to that, I do want to address the plenty of people that have subscribed to the channel recently. I do appreciate a lot of y'all. We've built a community this way. We're checking out a lot of content on Patreon too. Wrestling matches, storylines, TV shows, movies. Dude, I'm about to flood the content over there. So I do appreciate a lot of the people that have been suggesting matches for me to watch, movies, TV shows, all that. I appreciate a lot of people that are subscribing this way. God dang. I'm just going to get through it. Karrion Kross and SCARLETT are no longer working with the WWE. They both posted their links on X/Twitter. I think it's Twitter, but some of y'all call it X, whatever you want to call it, because this is a tweet right here. I don't know, is this an X? This is a tweet. Essentially affirmed the fact that they're no longer with the WWE. Karrion also just dropped a documentary on YouTube detailing kind of his ascent over the few months, and he's appreciative for every moment. I mean, he's even reading out heartfelt notes from fans and all these cool things. I mean, he's getting fans photo shoots or photo opportunities. It was dope stuff. I thought it was interesting that, like I said, if you follow a lot of these characters on social media or these people on social media and they're able to discuss their characters, a lot of them have a deep understanding of their characters that is just not brought to fruition on WWE TV. Chelsea Green did a lot of work online getting her character over. Naomi has been cooking online. And there's plenty of videos in which Karrion Kross has been able to really dive into the deep trenches and nuances of his character's mentality. And that never gets addressed on television. That's the problem. Of course, there's plenty of people who are on both ends of the fence. I don't believe that Karrion Kross is the face of the WWE. But at the end of the day, he's had his hands in plenty of storylines. I think that there's much more that he could have done, at least as a storyteller, in opposition to just having him look menacing in the background every other week. A lot of people started to resonate with Karrion Kross after he did this promo that he said was a work or a shoot in his documentary, Being a Good Soldier Gets Your Time Cut. It was fire promo. He talked about the guy in the truck, all this type of stuff that, again, I think a lot of people could relate to because it was a conversation that you could listen to like on the way to a basketball practice, on the way to school. I mean, this could be the soundtrack of somebody's day-to-day at work. Because it's true, it resonates. A lot of people feel like they're underappreciated in many avenues in life. Better than anything that we've getting on WWE TV. He talked about that promo, and even backstage, he wasn't allowed to talk about or address the hashtag We Want Cross.
You have it. You've got it. Yeah, you want Brock, you've got it.
And this is what I'm talking about, though. If this is supposedly all the work, why would SCARLETT and Karrion continue to work with the WWE? You are in no sect of their plans. Karrion Kross even talked about one of the conversations that he had behind the scenes with R-Truth, mentioning that even though he hadn't had an amazing singles run, talking about Karrion Kross, the thing that he did win was the people. He won over the hearts of the people. It means something. The dude was one of the top merch sellers. He was getting people chanting his name at shows. People were hashtagging him to death. And this dude was getting no TV time. So you can make an argument about whatever you want to see as a wrestler, but again, as a storyteller, the dude has got it. This just speaks to the larger issue with the WWE. They don't know what they're doing. We just saw a similar thing with R-Truth, who was a beloved character for years, who was mitigated to doing nothing but dumb stuff in the backstage. And then he's suddenly announced to be gone. Oh, they try to right the wrong and act as if this was some storyline, and they bring him back, and he cuts a crazy good promo about how he wants to be addressed as Ron Killings, cuts his hair, and doesn't want to joke around no more. I wanted to see where this was going to go. Where did it go? Like, I see stuff like this, and it just makes no sense. And then you have people like this that are just upset. I think a lot of people got to understand, too. The people that are at the top are literally just at the top because they were put at the top. Y'all remember. Let's put our thinking caps on. Wrestling is scripted. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it. But at the end of the day, it's just about who the fans resonate with and who they want to push to the top. But I think it's just like in any form of sports and entertainment. Look, basketball, the guys that are faces of the league are pushed. The entity allows them to be at the forefront. They're the ones that are getting on the posters. They're the ones that are in the commercials. They're the ones that are getting the big time interviews. They're the ones that are getting the sneakers deals. These are the people that are products of the machine. In boxing, basketball, football. Look, you can be super talented, but at the end of the day, the machine has to get behind you. And at the end of the day, the fans are the ones that are putting their butts in seats, buying tickets, merch, etc. And again, a lot of the criticism about Kross has been, oh, he hasn't put on a great match in a while, or since he's been here. Look, he just had some stinkers with Sami Zayn. Again, I think that a lot of y'all are way too critical. If you had to ask me, majority of the wrestlers in WWE that are at the top of the card are not quote unquote good or amazing in the ring. Dude, we got behind people like John Cena, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, CM Punk. These are guys that do 5 moves of doom. Literally, John Cena is the whole meme about having the 5 moves of doom. You guys don't really care about somebody being amazing in the ring. Look, I'll address it. Karrion Kross, sure, he's a little stiff in the ring. But again, I think there's plenty of guys that have been bruisers that don't have to be amazing in the ring. Or even on the mic. We've seen guys like Great Khali just chop people. Gunther is our ring general. He just slaps people in the chest. If it was all about people that are the most exciting in the ring or the most entertaining in the ring, then people like Ricochet would have been at the top of WWE when he was here, wouldn't he? But again, you guys don't necessarily care about people in the ring. But now suddenly, when it comes down to Karrion Kross, he has to be the best wrestler in the ring. Jey Uso can't wrestle a 5-minute match, and they put a belt on him. Most people that are watching WWE are not truly interested in the in-ring product. There's moments and stories, I think, that are told in the ring. That means something. Because look, a lot of y'all know I just started watching AEW. There's some fire going on in the ring over there. Everybody's super good. In 2022, when Triple H took over, that are now all gone or no longer working with the company. They have no idea what they're doing back there. Again, one of the grandest moments of the year was John Cena turning and becoming a heel. This is what a lot of the card was supposed to be predicated on. This year, John Cena's last year wrestling. We couldn't even stick to the bit. It took 5 months for him to turn face, and we didn't even get a storyline play out of that. This literally only happened because Cody Rhodes said, I want to fight the real John Cena at SummerSlam, and John Cena obliged, and that was it. That's all we got. So 20 years of you being a face is thrown up by you deciding to turn on the fans and align yourself with The Rock, who we have not seen since Elimination Chamber. Travis Scott, who we have not seen since WrestleMania. It's just ridiculous. These guys don't know what they're doing back there. I do think this is a little extra. Matt Morgan, who's a prior WWE superstar, is talking about how disrespected he feels Karrion Kross has been and how people are not going to be paying $30 a month without Karrion Kross. For years, since he came back to the company, has been a minor player, if you could even call him that. People have been coming to the Raw shows, SmackDown shows, coming to PLEs and with and without Karrion Kross. This dude was never a big time portion of the show, so it's not like people are going to just stop going to shows because of Karrion Kross. Another villain is gone from the show. We don't have any villains. Don't have any bad guys. Gunther's out with an injury. What are we doing? John Cena's no longer a heel. What are we doing? Where are our bad guys? Did they think any of this through? Probably not. End of the day, these are real people. But I'd rather these people be happy and enjoy themselves on a week-to-week, on a day-to-day. And go somewhere where they're regarded with a little bit of respect. Sure, may the people, the entities, like Triple H and some of the guys back there, the producers, whatever, may they have actually enjoyed Kross as a person? Sure. But again, I get it. It's show business. It's rough. It's tough. It ain't easy. But again, I just don't understand what the purpose was of having a majority of these people on the roster and there being zero plans to use any of them. The guys sitting at the top are all nostalgia acts. If you were watching wrestling 10 years ago, the guys that are sitting at the top are still at the top. And what other new names do we have? Maybe Logan Paul. John Cena, CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. I mean, come on, bro. Like, we've been introduced to a lot of these guys. Sure, I'm not mad at it, but allow them to pass the torch. Our future is Dominic Mysterio right now. I love Dirty Dom, but there's so much talent busting at the seams from every direction, and most of these guys are just sitting back there and catering with no idea what's going on. There are zero fleshed out storylines, and again, it's something that we can just look at if you look at the biggest story of the year. John Cena turning heel, which is discarded. And every element of that story was discarded. Him and Cody Rhodes were chugging beers like John Cena didn't bloody him and have Travis Scott bust his eye open. And they're just chugging beers. It's just ridiculous. They're tag team partners. It's just silly. It makes no sense. Braun Breaker was our Intercontinental Champion. Just lost at WrestleMania and decided to align himself with Seth Rollins. What is this doing for Braun Breaker? Absolutely nothing. He's just Seth Rollins' dog. Let him off the leash. He goes to spear somebody, and then they go home. What is he individually working on? How is he the future with nothing to show for it? He has no goals, no aspirations. He's not even trying to get a tag team title belt. Bronson Reed, cool. I'll allow for the fact that this guy just shows up and wants to wreck things. But what is he wrecking? What is he doing? Him and Braun Breaker are just losing to anyone. They're getting taken out by anyone. Makes zero sense. How are the guys the injury? I mean, how are these guys the future of the industry? And they're getting jobbed out to Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, the likes, the works. We still have a championship title on Tiffy. And that woman was on Logan Paul's interview talking about how she really doesn't even understand her own character. She doesn't even understand what belt she has. The top woman in the division, Rhea Ripley, has zero character depth other than I show up and defend my title. When I do not have title, I fight against the title holder. Naomi had to develop her own storyline online. Chelsea Green, who a lot of people are excited to see, and you can throw her in the midst of anything, men's and women's storylines, had to develop a lot of her character online. Carmelo Hayes was a number 1 draft pick, correct? First round pick. I'm sorry, I think he was like number 3. But anyways, he was a first round pick out of NXT where he was the man. And he does absolutely nothing on the main roster. And at the very least, this is not even like a storyline. He just loses to people. It's not even like, oh man, hey man, maybe you should not be as confident. There's nothing that we're doing in order to address him as a character. And how this could possibly provide some doubt to him. How this could possibly be a teaching moment for nothing. He's just going out there and losing. And then he just disappears for weeks. We brought Rusev back and Aleister Black back. To do what? Ludwig Kaiser is in an El Grande Americano suit. What is the Judgment Day going to do without titles? Grayson Waller and Austin Theory were teasing a breakup for 2 years. And we just got Grayson Waller showing up to Raw on a random Monday and say, Austin Theory's gone. I cut 240 pounds of dead weight. Now I'm going to join the New Day. That was our payoff. Cody Rhodes went through this crazy real-life story of trying to become a main roster champion. Hold a world championship. He beats the insurmountable foe, Roman Reigns. And then does what after? And in his most memorable feud since, he goes against John Cena, who decides to turn bad on him. To then just up and turn good. Because he asked nicely. And he's got to start chugging beers. Even though they were at odds. Fighting to the point where they had to be separated from security. Even though this dude literally jumped him, ripped him apart. And come on, man. Again, at the end of the day, this is just a small microcosm of the entirety of the business. There's nothing going on that makes any sense right now, and I don't even want to continue to get myself angry today. Y'all have a good rest of the day, man. Stay tuned to the next.